Okay. Well, it started. Precipitation. Here we go again on a Sunday. It's coming down. It is coming down. Yep. Episode 31. Here we go. And we got snow. Okay, yes. This is inside. But I was outside yesterday. I definitely went out yesterday morning. And I did this whole thing on senior thinking and rewiring your mind for the long haul or the long ride. And I was editing, and then the news of the snowstorm was coming, and I was like, yo, not again. And I just realized that most of my episodes recently has just been about the mind and perception and how we perceive things, and what it really means. I've been very introspective these last couple of weeks, really. Just thinking, I know I got a birthday coming up, I was going to say it's a big one, but at this stage, every birthday is a big one. I guess after about 60 or 65, every birthday is a big one, I guess. So, yeah. But, I'm good. I'm feeling good. But it's just the mind and keeping your mind sharp. I mean, I do it by staying creative and stuff, And I got this whole thing about senior thinking, and like the first part would be like the youthful thinking is fast, reactive, and concerned about what others think and how to get ahead and just how to fit into this society or this situation that you've been born into. But adult thinking would be more like problem solving, and now that you're an adult, you're trying to manage and accumulate material things and focusing on a career, a family, and just logistics like where you're going to live, what you're going to do, how you're going to interact. Now, senior thinking is fundamentally different. It's a fundamental shift, right? It's less about what can I get and more about what can I let go. So, yeah, I find myself just thinking about, I look around my apartment, I see all this stuff that I never use, stuff with more sentimental value than actual value. Not that sentimental value is of no value, but it has no utility in my life right now, really. A lot of it, I just look at it and lament, oh, I remember, but yeah, so that senior thinking, it changes. You're starting to realize you don't need a lot of things around you as you thought you did, back in the day. So sometimes I think of the way I navigate my life now is kind of like a dashboard, And on the board there are different things that I adjust, internal things in my mind, right? It's like there's a metaphoric volume knob, right? So this is how I decide which thoughts or which experiences deserves my thinking or rumination about it. I turn up the volume or I turn down the volume. These days it's more like just turning down the volume, especially relating to our last episode and just being bombarded with so much stuff. The next thing on the dashboard would be like the rear view mirror. Now, that's where a lot of people get caught in the mirror. Just as I was saying earlier about things with emotional value around the apartment. Those things keep you looking back about what was, about what I could have done or what I could have changed, and it just keeps you somehow from focusing on now or even on what's going to happen. You can't change what's behind you, but you can stop staring at it. Even at any age, I guess the road ahead is what matters. Although we are a summation or a culmination of our experiences, we are who and what we are pretty much, physically, mentally, based on what has happened before. But how you integrate that in now and going forward, that's basically up to you. That's why the rear view mirror is cool, but you don't want to be stuck there. And the next thing would be your headlights. Now this is metaphoric dashboard again. So your headlights is what's looking forward, right? Now, and when you have these lights on, you try to focus on what you can control. You can direct your headlights toward what is important to you. And you worry about the far distance is exhausting. Senior thinking focuses on your headlights, focus on what your headlights illuminate. In the next few feet, the next small step, the next kind word. This is what, instead of looking way down there, because my experience, I don't know, maybe I told you about it. When I was doing my morning walk and I fell down these steps. I fell up the steps, really. I was going up. And, just from that, my headlights or my vision was so far ahead that I missed right what was in front of me. And it was pretty traumatic. I fell. But the thing about it, I fell twice on the same step. So that was a lesson I guess I needed to learn twice. And the next one is the temperature gauge on your dashboard, the temperature gauge, which is the emotional regulation, regulating your emotions up and down, right? Okay, the next part is how you manage your dashboard and the ripple effect. I know we spoke about this before, but it's just about being that example. Sometimes you don't know what you're transmitting to people around you, and people are going to react to you. Sometimes people say, nobody's paying attention, but we went through this before. Calm is contagious. If you can go into a chaotic situation and maintain your equilibrium, and you can just be calm, that helps a lot with people. Other thing, be curious about people and people around you. Ask polite questions, and be interested in the answers. People want to be known, even if they don't act like it. you know, and be resilient, be resilient. It's easier, you could say be resilient. What does that mean? Again, it's a lot of mental, just mental things, Like if you fall down, like, I did, you got to be able to get back up. That's the whole thing. You got to get back up. Got to get back up. And the other part is what is called the biology of belief. Thinking your way to a better health, right? There's the mind-body connection that we're all familiar with, right? The mind-body connection, right? And your mind creates chemicals. The one I'm talking about is cortisol. Cortisol accelerates aging and inflammation. And cortisol is produced by worry and stress, and try to maintain positivity. Not what I would call like toxic positivity, like, oh, it's fine, even though the bus is coming down on you. Oh, it's fine. Not that kind of thinking, but being grounded and looking around and seeking out positive things, just seeking out positive things. So yeah. And just be aware of your body. I know sometimes when you're young, your body's so resilient you hardly even pay attention to it, unless you break something or really fall down hard. But when you begin to get to a certain range, like your body is talking to you, like seriously, heavily talking to you. So it's it's just important to pay attention to your body and do those stretchings, even if you just bend over, 5-10 minutes, and twist your body and just, feel what's there. Don't forget about your body, because your body ain't forgetting about you, that's for sure. And then try to finish each day with gratitude. That's all. Just be thankful, This life is amazing, be thankful. Say senior thinking is not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions, or asking better questions. In the Matrix they say, it's the questions that drives us. It's the questions, And it's not about being positive every moment. It's about your thinking that have elevated your life or changed your life that you can share with us. Leave that in the comments, right? And remember, it's not what you think, it's what you think about.
Yes, I remember we were young once with plans of world domination. But our eyes are different now, befuddled by the trick of a carrot and a stick, spun by a wink and a nod. The naïve of youth replaced by ties and offerings to the great by and by, for trinkets that buzz and flash and distract, polluting the spaces between our ears, dwindling a sense of self and the senses, relentlessly without mercy. But yes, I remember we were all young once.